All right, getting started with Chapter 8, Notes on Non-Vascular and Vascular Plants. So when it comes to classifying plants, we know that the largest group of classification is called the kingdom, and we have the plant kingdom, which is made up of more than 270,000 species or different types of plants. Of all of the plants that are in the plant kingdom, they are divided into two groups. They are either considered vascular plants or non-vascular plants. A vascular plant is one that has structures that allow it to transport water and food, meaning that it's able to move water and food throughout the plant. And non-vascular plants do not have structures that are able to help with transportation of water and food. So starting with non-vascular plants, one type of them are mosses and liverworts. Okay, these do not have true roots, stems, or leaves. When we're talking about true roots, stems, or leaves, we're talking about roots that are in the ground, the stem that comes up, and the leaves that are towards the top. Okay, non-vascular plants do not store or transport water. There are two types of non-vascular plants. Those are mosses and liverworts. Mosses are plants that grow in moist, shady places, meaning that they are looking to be in an area that is saturated with water, largely because they are not able to transport that water through their cells. Their cells are specialized, meaning that they have specific jobs that they need to do. And the root-like structures that are in mosses are found underground, whereas the leaf-like structures are found above ground. Liverworts also grow in moist places. They're typically found along stream banks, near springs, or in rainforests. They look like leathery leaves that are laying flat on the ground. One of the reasons why they lay flat on the ground is because they have hair-like structures that help anchor them, and those structures are going to allow them to absorb the water from the soil. So take that water from the soil because they're not able to transport it throughout their body, so they need a constant access point. When it comes to the life cycle of non-vascular plants, there are two stages, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction is the spore-producing stage, and the sexual stage is the gamete-producing stage where they are producing gametes, which are sex cells, the sperm and the egg. Non-vascular plants reproduce with both of these methods, so it's not specific to one or the other. When we're talking about vascular plants, we have simple vascular plants and complex vascular plants. Simple vascular plants include ferns and horsetails. They have specialized cells that allow for transporting food and water, and they have true roots, stems, and leaves. Okay, so fern structure and function. Okay, the stems are underground and the roots grow horizontally. They have rhizomes, which are underground stems of ferns, and the fronds. Fronds are the leaves of ferns. These fronds grow up from the stem and the roots grow down. The life cycle of vascular plants can be found in your textbook in Chapter 8. There is a diagram that looks at that. Complex vascular plants, seed plants. Seed plants are anything that we would grow by putting a seed into the ground. Things like wheat, peas, broccoli, apples, oranges. There are a lot of them that are available as examples. The seed is a reproductive structure. It contains the first stage of a very, very tiny new plant. The plant embryo is small and has a new plant inside of the seed. In order for it to grow, a seed needs to have access to water. Germination is the embryo inside of the seed that starts developing and growing. So when that happens, that's called the process of germination. Seed plants. There are cones and flowers. Seed plants are divided into two groups, gymnosperms and angiosperms. A gymnosperm has an uncovered seed. So there's no covering over it. An example would be a cone-bearing plant. Cone-bearing plants would be things like pine trees. They almost kind of look like a Christmas tree, and they have cones that fall below them. And then angiosperms have a covered seed, and examples of angiosperms include flowering plants. Okay, monocots and dicots. All flowering plants contain at least one seed leaf or one cotyledon. Okay. There are two main groups of seeds in flowering plants. There's monocots, meaning it's a plant with one seed leaf, or a dicot, a plant with two seed leaves. The way to identify this is that the word or the prefix mono means one and the prefix di means two.